And streaming isn't messing up.
Drugs!
Um, and we got Ann Arbor here. Isn't messing
Yeah,
up long form storytelling, and we touched a bit of this on the L's in media.
yeah, we did. So I have had this idea in the back of my mind for a while of just like I kind of miss the days where it's like, hey, you got this season and you've got these episodes that come out for week to week to week, and now I mean we've still got that. Don't get me wrong, but now we've got like just these mega streaming service where it's like, right, we're gonna put every single episode of a season or a series on this streaming service so you can binge it all at one point. And I kind of miss like the days where that wasn't always saturated, where it's like, okay, what am I going to watch this week? Oh, there's this new series coming out. Oh, I can't wait to see the next episode.
Yeah, but I quickly have to say something against that. We have in the current day and age, you will always get spoilers. So if you have to wait a week for the new episode, the spoilers will be leaked 5 days before the episode, so you are not allowed to go onto the web internet anymore or
Yeah,
to talk about the series, or you will be spoiled. So binging it is already safer for you to
but
not be afraid of being spoiled.
But the problem there is that even with binge, that's still going to be an issue, and it's going to be worse because you're going to have because you'll have somewhat because everyone's plans are going to be different, and you're going to have someone who say like for example, I'll just use an example recently. And I know you don't like the franchise, but it's relevant for this. So say it's like, okay, I want to start Cosmic Fury today.
On
two
that
days.
note, my food deliveries. Yeah, will be right
Okay,
back.
okay, so I can do it now. Like, say I wanted to watch Cosmic Fury and it's already been out for a couple of days, and it's like, okay, oh great, I want to write about this, and then I go on Twitter to say like, hey, Cosmic Fury episode 1, I really like it. Then I see like episode 10, say it was a Morphin Master.
Yeah, like I'm kind of in the middle of this discussion here. Because I do feel like it has made a detrimental effect on like the long form storytelling, but at the same time, like it also like I get the necessity to have binge culture as well because of like Ann Arbor was saying, like spoilers. Like us as manga fans have to deal with this like week to week to week because like by Thursday we see scans of say One Piece and JJK and My Hero and
Oh
all
my
this
god,
crap. Yeah.
that's another topic. That's another discussion of itself as well. Like, um, the scanlations need to go 100. Unless it's for series that, like, for the big ones, like for the ones that are like, hey, you can get this for free on this platform. Scanlations need to go.
But like even with that, you see like them be weeks, months, even years behind still on some of these sites. So like I still understand that there's a need for scanlations, but like with the stuff that's simulscanned and simulpub, like they don't need to exist so to
Yeah,
speak.
and
Um,
one of the biggest offenders of that at the moment is Kogurabashi.
God,
That literally got its scanlation on chapter. Like, why? Why was that a thing?
can I be conspiracy theory guy for a second?
Go on, yeah, the board's all yours.
I really feel like Kagurabachi was leaked intentionally. That way it could drum up a bunch of hype for it as the new big thing because we're so far removed from a lot of these series. Like so many of them are so close to ending, like JJK, My Hero, etc., are so close to ending. So the jump once a hit, they want something to stick. So I feel like a lot of that is artificially hyped up for that reason. Um, that's my big conspiracy. Bless you.
Thank you.
So I really feel like that's a bit of it. But like in this middle ground, like say so the boys, Gen V, you have those going on right now. You have Invincible right now and Loki season 2. Those are the big ones, right? Um for, spoilers and like the weekly kind of things that are going on. Like Invincible just premiered today, I guess. I forgot it was even coming out this month. Um, So that's how far behind I am. So we have those. And then on the other end of it, we have stuff like Castlevania Nocturne, where everything dropped at once. Pluto all dropped at once.
Nocturne was shit.
So, like, those... I saw more spoilers for those on Twitter than I did any of the weekly things. Because those are, like, hyped up. Those are, like, you got 8 episodes, 6 episodes, whatever, of all of these. And then people will sit down and play the episode back to back to back to back to back, binging it, and then writing up like whole ass essays on Twitter Blue of like what's going on and what their thoughts on it and everything. Whereas like I've maybe seen, and maybe it's just how my algorithm on Twitter is, because like it's mostly music at this point. And that's because like that's what I interact with. Spoilers, you create your own fucking algorithm, people. So like I've seen like bits and pieces of Pluto because I'm an Urasawa fan, so like I was promoting the monster video when it came out and all that, so I guess like Twitter saw that. But like I saw a shit ton of spoilers for that. I'm glad I sat down and binged this all at once. It was a fantastic series for me as a fan of Urasawa and an Astro Boy fan, because it's like a bit of that same aesthetic and lore. It was a love letter to Astro Boy. But I saw more of that shit than I did like Loki season 2 or fucking I've seen maybe 2 or 3 things on TikTok about Gen V. But like nothing from the boys since season 2 ended. I've not seen anything from, Invincible other than like the IGN reviewing the first episode, and people talking about like, oh yeah, the animation's still on par, you got a lot of, way to go for the story, yada yada yada, but that's it. So I feel like the ones that you sit down and binge are the ones that are going to get spoiled the most. Like fucking Cosmic Fury was all of my timeline, because it was at the time that we were putting out the Zordon era video.
Yeah.
So like that was everywhere for me. So I'm literally logging out of Twitter and logging out of fucking Instagram and everything. So I didn't have any of that spoiled for me.
I think you misunderstood what I said before. I said about series of weekly where the spoilers for the next episode are coming up before the episode.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we did. We touched
Alright.
upon that. We did touch upon that. Like with the scanlations of Shonen Jump.
Yeah, because that's like the biggest one I see personally, is like, especially as manga reviewers, like I don't touch My Hero. I haven't touched My Hero since Gentle Criminal. That's where I dropped it. But I have seen every fucking chapter 3-4 days before it ever comes out on Weekly Shonen Jump. JJK here recently, I've seen everything, like literally every fucking chapter, and it's getting worse and worse as things go on. But like, I don't see, personally, I don't see those. Like the animes or the like serialized television on streaming platforms like that. Strangely enough, I see, fucking more reality TV than I see any of that, and I don't even watch reality TV.
Yeah, who even watches reality TV anymore?
I know quite a few people that watch like Love Island and
I don't even understand Love Island.
Well,
It's now a bad time to mention that I'm currently watching Hell's Kitchen season 22.
Okay, at least Hell's Kitchen is an exception to the rule.
I mean, it's still technically reality TV.
It's still technically reality TV, but at least it's entertaining reality TV.
It's not like your Big Brother or your Survivor or your fucking generic Bachelor spinoff.
Yeah,
Yeah. I get what you're coming from there.
But yeah, and partly I feel like streaming has kind of like made long form storytelling kind of a bit obsolete in my opinion, is what we touched upon in the Owls video in terms of the MCU and not just that, with like the whole Star Wars kind of now, like in order to get caught up on this like one big event, you have to stream and binge like about 5 or 6 shows, 3 movies, whereas back in the day, like say you wanted to watch like a season of just trying to think of a like a season of Avatar, like watch it week to week to week. Okay, season 1 done. Like wait for season 2 done. Okay, great. Season 3, okay, great, that's coming now. Can't wait for Korra. Korra season 1, okay, that's great. Oh, season 2 is coming. Oh, great, I can't wait to watch all of that week to week to week. And it's just mainly the impact of just being like, oh, I can't wait to find out what happens next. Or all this is bullshit. I can't wait to see how they screw up and all. Oh, I stand corrected. Kind of thing, where it's like, but now you're like oversaturated with like 30 different products. It's like, where do you even begin half the time?
Yeah, but that's a specific MCU problem and not something in general.
Yeah, that's it. I agree. That's like a problem specifically on the MCU.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't say something like The Boys or Invincible has that problem.
Okay, but it's just something I've kind of noticed in recent years, and it's not even with just TV media or film media. It's with manga as well. Like with the Manga Plus, it's like, okay, you have you have on Manga Plus, you have this series going on for 10 chapters, 20 chapters, 30 chapters, and just it's like, okay, slow down for a minute and let us have a chance to digest some of these series before you say, right, this series is ending, here comes the next pack.
I mean, that's something really. Manga Plus was made to be like Shonen Jump Plus was made to be for short-term stories mostly, and that's the goal. Have short-term stories on it.
Yeah.
And complaining about it is like complaining why trees are green in summer. It's the goal to have mostly short stories on that.
Yeah, it seems to be that's the case, right? Like I don't feel like it's wholly the case because we've seen a lot of longer stories transfer there. But we've seen
We only
like
have 2. How many long stories do we have on Shonen Jump Plus?
we've had
Exactly,
a bit
Chainsaw Man at Kaiju number 8.
Dawn,
Donadon's hitting close.
Oshinoko,
Oshinoko's not Shonen Jump Plus.
but it's on. I know it's not showing up, but it's on that
But I
website.
said Shonen Jump Plus.
Specifically Shonen Jump Plus. We also had Ayakashi Triangle transfer over there and get
Okay,
like 90-ish episodes of content.
Tis time for Torture Princess.
Well, that's like a 8-panel series mostly. We've also had no Kaguya-sama was actually Shonen Jump, but just never made it onto the actual fucking app, if I remember right. But yeah, like you're right, like it is mostly short series. Fucking the other one that comes to mind is Abyss Rage. That was 93, 95 total.
Yeah, but also I wouldn't want to stay long on the topic of manga when the whole thing is streaming and series.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, like those are like some of the aspects there. But yeah, here's the other one that really, was spurning out of the L's category is like how they're telling the world of Star Wars now, right? We're having
Star Wars died a long time ago, and Disney is just Disney is the biggest necrophilia fan of necrophilia, but which I know.
Honestly, you're not wrong.
Star Wars is proof of that.
It's not just Star Wars. We've got Lord of the Rings now branching off.
Lord of the Rings, the MCU was literally finished after Thanos, and look at what they're doing now.
Well, I've just touched. We've just touched on the MCU.
I know, and that's like. I think Disney is also the biggest culprit about turning everything into a streaming service for binge watching and not making it an adventure. Or
Right,
making
like-
it as much
Yeah, you've kind of hit the nail on the head. That my main problem with like binge is like, yeah, some series do work well as a binge.
Castlevania,
yeah.
Captain Laserhawk,
Like
I think
Breaking
Disenchanted.
Bad. Breaking Bad.
Disenchanted is only watchable as a binge.
Oh
Try
god.
watching Disenchanted weekly, you will hate that shit.
Even though I haven't watched the entire series yet, I would put Breaking Bad in there as a series that would ultimately work as a binge because it does have like a beginning, middle, and end.
Yeah, it's really important if you talk about the difference between binging and watching weekly. It's really how the story is written.
Right, like
And
it was
some
torture
series-
watching
yeah.
Breaking Bad weekly.
And some series just work 10 times better as binge and some weekly. And I think the longer the streaming services are now, and the more popular they're getting, we will go to more and more binging. Because that's just how the majority of people enjoy watching series, with weekly dying more and more.
Yeah, like
But-
cable is like so far on the decline at this point. It's
Yes,
never.
And a big problem with that is the writing. The writing, I think, didn't evolve with the preference of binging.
Are you sure? Are you sure it's the writing and not the
I
fact
think
that the cable guys are like, we'll give you a window of 2 p.m. to 5 p.m.
What else should they do? Having fucking a sender for every fucking episode and just letting them all go all the time 24/7?
I mean, both are valid here. Like, Ann Arbor hit the nail on the head. Like, the writing didn't evolve fully here, but we've kind of gotten pocketed into like time frames for like certain tones of series, right? Like, look to what's still popular on modern TV. You have your serialized cop dramas, for example, your NCIS universe, right? You're The Rookie, your, Chicago FD and PD. Those things still do numbers for cable networks, but they're specifically set for like a time slot versus like, and it's the same thing with anime, right? You have like the adult time slot where you can air like more gory, more grotesque series, or you have like the ones where you have to censor things, right? And then you do an uncensored cut on the Blu-ray. Or on the streaming service, like a High Dive, for example. Like, if it wasn't for, like, still thinking in the terms of time slots for writing, we wouldn't have such rushed plot lines. We wouldn't have to go past, like, hey, the more mature tone here is more of an undertone instead of, like, overtly being said. Voltron is really, really hated on for, like, gay baiting, right? Because you had the whole Clance like love interest there in the beginning, but because it was made during the infancy of streaming, it was like more trying to cater to like, maybe we'll get serialized on network television at some point too, so we don't want to overtly say that these characters might canonically be gay, so we're going to just like make it a bromance, right? And then for the sake of the fans, they put Shiro's love interest in there only to like immediately kill him off. And that, like that really did a fucking disservice to the series, because that's something that the fans clamored for, was like any form of gay representation, right? But it really kind of was like, well, shit, that kind of, did that series in and made it like this pariah in the community. But like, I feel like a lot of these writers still think of like serialized television versus streaming. Like going back to Star Wars, for example, you see like different series have different tones, right? You have like a more dark tone in Ahsoka than you do in, say, like Obi-Wan. And it comes down to like the writers and how they want to actually tell the stories. But you have literal like zombified clone troopers in the fucking, ending of Ahsoka there, and you're not, going in and just chopping them up because you're afraid to show like any, dismemberment, and these are literally zombies. You had no issue showing 1,000 fucking droids getting their arms or heads or fucking torsos cut in half. But zombies, because they used to be human-ish, is where you draw the line for that. You know, that's one of the little weirder ones that I've noticed here recently. And it's not rated for kids. But I guess because they're in the mindset that Ahsoka was originally made for a kid's cartoon, you know, they don't want to show her doing harm to humans. That's just speculation for me, though. Clearly, Star Wars fans are rabid, and I don't want my inbox flooded.
Oh, absolutely
If you're a
not.
Star Wars fan, you don't have taste.
Never said I have.
My inbox. You will find my inbox in the description of this video.
Yeah. So anybody wants to send hate, send it Ann Arbor's way. But
Yeah,
trust me,
I'll be sure to put his fucking Twitter handle.
Trust
on
me,
it.
I'm going to jerk off to the hate. It will give me a boner.
Trust me. If you try to troll Ann Arbor, you're not gonna win. We've tried it. It's not gonna work.
I
Ann
have
Arbor.
a hate boner for hate. I'm going to jerk off to the hate I will get. So send me hate.
Ann Arbor, I've never said I have great taste. I'm an SAO fan as well.
I'm not talking about you, but you are fucking the worst piece of human.
I know.
Human garbage I know.
Ann Arbor, you're just giving me a boner right now. I love being talked down to like this. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Dear, you know that we are later on meeting in your bed. Have you forgotten that?
Oh God,
This is
fucking weird.
This is just the playful part of the relationship from us.
Yeah, this is literally the Progression Grand Prix, but like make it a podcast.
Yeah. Now, granted, I'm not blind to some of like the problems with long form storytelling, and I feel like it's when long form storytelling tries to go like, oh, we're gonna tell this overarching story, and it's like, oh, this is a pain to get through for all the. I'd rather just binge this. Case in point, what's happening recently with South Park.
Yeah, no.
And I love South Park. But that whole season where it was like that long form story arc of just the trolling, I was just like, oh, just make it stop already.
Yeah,
So
like
you're
the whole like story arc between Cartman and his girlfriend.
Yeah,
Wait, Power had a girlfriend?
he did.
Luke didn't get the joke.
No, I got it. I was just humoring you.
Alright.
But that was like its weakest season in my opinion in the modern era.
I can't deny that. Like, it's still better than most average thing that you come out, but I don't think and I'm all for them doing like story arcs. Like, look at say Imagination Land or the can I actually say that word?
Go for it.
Just say it.
The Coon trilogy. I love those episodes, and I feel like they work well as like a continuous story. But like making a season, an entire continuous story for South Park, it just doesn't work.
No, like I literally have said, like long form storytelling for South Park doesn't work well. Like I miss the like Adventure of the Week episodes of it because it made it so unique. It made them have to adapt weekly to a different story, you know, whatever's happening currently. That's what I really loved about the South Park franchise. It's like, oh, we're going to do like a fucking Barbara Streisand episode one week, and then the next week we're talking about fucking Pokemon, you know, and then
So you're literally saying because how it's written, it just works 10 times better weekly than binging. Thank you. That's to go back to the main topic really quick.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I said, it's literally just how you write something that decides if binging or weekly is better. But way binging is always better. Fuck weekly.
like that one specifically works better like weekly 100%, and it's just how Matt and Trey had always written their stories. It felt more contained in this universe, and we weren't trying to explore like the interworkings of the PC principal and Strong Woman's relationship, and we weren't sitting there for like 8 episodes trying to figure out if Cartman can't even have his own relationship, you know.
The
But
answer will shock you.
the answer will tell you that Cartman is a piece of shit no matter what.
Yeah.
Is he as bad as our president, the luck devil? Oh, hey. I don't have a him. Guys, I need a theme song.
I'll
This
get
is
right
the reason why
on
we, are,
that.
why we are recording right now. We need to find out what my theme song will be.
It's,
An arbor is a cunt.
Yep.
He
Yeah.
pissed right
it's,
in my lunch.
And actually, it's a good it's a good point. We're on this like episodic portion of the video, because I literally found this out after we did the L's video. So like literally about an hour ago. Sesame Street is changing its format for the first time in like over half a century to a more narrative storyline, and you're just there thinking like, how? What?
I mean, kids aren't stupid, you know. They really.
Even kids like series with a coherent story more than a weekly one.
You know, it's interesting because we have more kids getting into stuff like anime, and you know, we have more kids getting into.
I mean, look in the people my and Tyler's age. There's a reason. It's always being said Digimon had the better anime and Pokemon the better games, because Digimon had a coherent story for all of it.
Yeah, and they both, and Pokemon and Digimon, they both had their strengths and weaknesses as series. But yeah, in terms of overarching story, I would say Digimon flat out wins.
Yeah,
and even then, even 20 years ago, children already liked if it's one big story more than it's like week to week.
absolutely.
It was already more popular with 2000s, and of course, especially now that people want more and more to have one coherent story. And
Yeah, but I feel like this is a weird one to go to like a like overarching a plot, because this is iPad kids that are going to be watching this. These are people that watch Blippi and, you know, monster truck videos and stuff like that.
Especially for them, it's the best thing. Imagine your child, especially for the child, it's better to have something that can really chain you to this. It sounds terrible, but chain you to the stream, something that will entertain you for a longer time than just, oh, monster truck destroys car, awesome, next video. Or like, yeah, what's up?
Elsa gets inflated by Spider-Man. I mean, that definitely doesn't exist on YouTube.
Yeah, not talking about YouTube kids. This is a place where even I'm scared of to go, let alone my future children. This is a place no one of us will dare to enter. YouTube Kids is not for weak people like us.
YouTube Kids fucking scares me even, and I watched horror movies when I was a kid. I was raised on Friday the 13th and The Exorcist, you know.
You guys know me. I'm kids.
Yeah, because you grew up reading Berserk, Ann Arbor.
Same.
And I'm still afraid of YouTube Kids.
Yeah, okay, here's the tweet that I found where I found it. So someone on Twitter was saying, what is, for the Sesame Street point, what is the point of this? 56 seasons in, that's like if One Piece suddenly became episodic 1000 chapters and episodes in, Lamo.
Jokes on you! One Piece is 5 minutes, a 5-minute episode weekly.
I mean, yeah, it's not, yeah, I mean, yeah, that's one. But yeah, like, and, that's another
Here's
series
a counterpoint. Instead of raising your kids on Sesame Street, raise them on One Piece.
Instead of raising them on One Piece, raise them on Digimon.
Well, actually,
so raise them on Digimon, raise them on Yu-Gi-Oh! Lancey.
I think me and Bex tried to say something better, and you both just wanted to make it worse. What the fuck? Why are me and Bex the voice of reason for
right, honestly, we are like, we are both stoned here, probably.
I don't smoke weed. I didn't even drink alcohol today, only water.
I feel like I'm the most sane person in this whole thing.
I'm sitting here hitting.
I honestly feel like I'm contributing nothing to this, which
I'm just screaming at Luke. That's my job. Hello,
Yeah.
I'm Mr. Luck Devil, the president.
Like, this is a cursed video, and I love it.
Yeah.
Everything with me is cursed. I am cursed.
Like, if you want my 2 cents, I'm kind of with Vex. It's like really dependent on what's better as a binge and what's better as like watching week to week.
But it depends on the writing if something is better or worse.
Well, I feel like right now, just to kind of pair it on Tyler there, like, look at the One Piece anime versus the manga, right?
We don't talk about the anime. It's that berserk.
Let's use it.
What is the One Piece anime? I didn't know that it had one.
I can still mute you.
Myself.
I literally see that the anime gets shit on constantly because of how it's paced. Because you have like 12 minutes of filler there, and then a couple minutes of like actual progression of the plot.
The pacing got a lot better with One Act 3.
Right, like, but it took 1,000 episodes.
No, I wouldn't say it took 1,000 episodes. I think it dipped at around 600 and then needed 400 more to recoup itself.
But like, you had that like initial recap there versus like reading it weekly, which a lot of people just shifted over to because it was a better pacing, right?
I did.
You know, so like even like source material to like adaptation, it varies so deeply, you know. So like, I feel like there's such a broad, like, diverse culture in this. It's not not one answer or the other is like internally valid here.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that, and like we said, some do what, like, I feel like the biggest offender of long form storytelling, but being too long formed is Power Rangers, which is why I'm glad that we got like the
That's a hot take.
What I'm saying is that, like, particularly with Mighty Morphin was the biggest offender of that.
Okay.
Oh, don't get me started. Mighty Morphin barely had a coherent plot.
Yeah, and I mean, binging that, but also because that's like the biggest offender for both sides. Because binging Mighty Morphin, that's a chore to get through. But watching it, imagine if you were watching it week to week to week to
I
week
did
to
as
week.
a kid.
Did it drive you insane, Vex?
Yeah, it did. But like, I was also a fucking kid, so I had the attention span of a goldfish. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm pissed. I gotta wait a day or a week to see the next episode. But I can go play with my little putty patrol and make my own episode here, you know? But now, like, having sat through that as a fully functioning adult with all of my brain capacity that I haven't killed, I'm sitting there with a bottle of whiskey next to me like, make it stop.
Make it stop. I'm sorry.
Which thankfully me, Tyler, and Vex, we're now in the point where it's like, okay, yeah, the seasons now have more of cohesive, like, okay, we know where we're going with this season.
This whole conversation just reminds me of Digimon Ghost Game, the first Digimon series that was just a weekly show.
Like, literally.
And how was that, like, week to week for you?
So I did both. Watched it week to week on its release and binged it my binge watch ended last week with friends. I can say week to week it was 10 times better.
Interesting.
Okay. Interesting.
It's the only Digimon series I really say binging it made it worse.
Well, that's gonna suck for me then.
Please, can you elaborate more on why you think that?
Simply with writing. Ghost Game doesn't try to have a story but it needs to have them because it's a Digimon game, so we'll always have 1 to 2 lines of story per episode. And week to
Okay.
week, it's not as bad and obvious that they just don't care for the story, for the crazy story, as if you binge it. If you binge it, we literally make it the drinking game whenever something important happened for the greater story. Because you always have one drink maybe per episode. Like, the flaw of that really came out like if you binge it. But if you watch it weekly, it's not as prevalent to notice.
That's interesting. And I feel like now I need to just watch it one episode a week to kind of get that feel.
I would really say watch 2 to 3 episodes a week.
Okay. All right.
I think that's a good amount because I really like it. It's a horror series, so we have Spooktober. Perfect to start. Especially when the necrophilia episode starts.
You keep saying that, and I'm just concerned.
I am concerned.
It is an episode. I'm not joking. We had necrophilia in one episode. We had Cthulhu in another one. We had multiple versions of body horror. It just goes from one horror theme to another one in the next episode. It's fucking hilarious.
Nice. That'll be
Alright, I say
interesting.
hilarious. What is wrong with me? Guys, if the words will end, I'm most likely drunk and laughing about it.
Probably. But also as well, what I particularly do like about over binging over not long form storytelling over binging is the fact that you get that break in between, like when things are coming out. So like, okay, you can digest what has happened and be like, was this actually good in hindsight, looking back in comparison to what's going to come later on in the series?
Whereas I would say it's bad. I would say something against that.
Go ahead.
Between the episodes, you will forget 90% of what's happening.
Fair enough. But if you've got a memory like me, you don't have that problem. But I get
most people forget that. People forget that. We need to talk about the generic Bob.
But I can definitely do understand that, and that's kind of been like one of the more aggravating parts about like when me, Fex, and Tyler have been watching the Power Rangers, where we have like the previously and like the next time. It's like, oh my god, we're binging it. We don't need to know this, but I can understand why they had it like week to week.
But like, it would take 2 seconds to edit that shit out of the VODs that are up on YouTube. Like, literally, I've had to cut music out of shit on YouTube. It takes like 2 minutes. It takes like an hour to process, but like, it takes zero effort for somebody that goes in that manages that channel to go in and fucking cut all that out. You know, it's just laziness on their part. I get that.
Yeah, but you never know what cut point people use. What if one person just watches 2 episodes and then stops for 1 week for some reason and then comes back? So episode 3 needs to have that. What if the next person cuts off at episode 3? So episode 4 has to have it.
Yeah, I get they want to have it to keep it in like its original format.
It should be just included in skipping the intro.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, like you could do the skip intro, but then the function would be like, would that skip the theme song? And then the like minute worth of cold open there too. You know, it's like there's no middle ground for that one, unfortunately, unless they just cut it out of all of them or left it in fully. So I understand why they were keeping it in. It's just an annoyance, and it's never the same length either. So like, I think one episode of In Space, I tried to skip it, and it was like, okay, it's usually like a minute, and I was like a minute into the episode, and then the fucking theme song started playing. I'm like, fuck. So I just went back to the beginning of it, and I'm like, we'll just have to deal with it from now on, because I don't want to just play guess games with the fucking intros to the shit. Yeah. Like, always skip the next time on, you know.
Yeah. But also as well with long-term storytelling, which I think is something you've kind of touched upon, and we'll probably touch upon this when we do the Dr. Stone video, is the fact with the seasons with seasons of anime for manga that have already been completed coming out in batches like every 2 to 3 years after the last season.
You know, I don't mind that as much as I was talking about it, as I do fucking Attack on Titan. Where you have
final season, second half, part 3.
Don't say it. Do not say it, Adava. We've already
hey, we all know we're going to get a final season, final part when they do that epilogue.
Includes Dante from Devil May Cry.
Honestly,
mixed edition.
Honestly, if that shit isn't on the fucking final Blu-ray, I'll be pissed.
Yeah, I can really.
I'm using that in the thumbnail, by the way.
I can kind of see where you're coming from your stance, Vex. But what I feel like is going to happen from now on with Dr. Stone is like, okay, we're going to get. Because obviously we're getting pretty much chapters 234, 235, and 236 coming out starting from this week. So I feel like that's probably what's going to happen from now on with Dr. Stone. It's like, okay, the anime's on break. Let's have a few chapters. Okay, the anime's back. Okay, they've got that content. Okay, it's on break. Let's give them a few more chapters.
Yeah, I don't want it to stretch on forever though. Like there's a there's a finite amount of ground we can still cover. Like, I know there was a lot of, shit left unanswered, and this is a fine way for them to tell it. But, like, there's... If they continue down this path, it's going to wear out its welcome as a series. Unfortunately, I feel like. And I'm looking at you, Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball.
Oh god, I could never get into Dragon Ball, and even as a kid when it was over, I was just like, oh, how long is this fight gonna continue to go on for?
Give me your strength, please.
Next
episode. I get it.
I like Dragon Ball. All your complaints about Dragon Ball is cringe, and they're making you cringe.
Like I realize like its place in Legacy, but like there doesn't need to be another retelling of GT just to make it canon, and that's what fucking Daima's looking like.
What? Oh, no, never. GT was great.
Hey, at least Toriyama's actually working on this one. So,
yeah, it's an improvement, but like they have 2.5 arcs, nearly 3 of Super's manga. They could adapt instead of this,
To be fair, we don't want to see the super manga arcs adapted. They are shit.
I'm a fan. I like them.
What is wrong with you? See, that's where you are cringe. You are cringe.
Yeah, you don't get a fucking say in cringe when you're a Kingdom Hearts fan.
Says the Kingdom Hearts fan. You don't get to decide what's
You're both Kingdom Hearts fans. You're both cringe.
Tyler, shut up.
You shut up.
None of adults are talking. So you are cringe.
Yeah, so anybody who's finding this video for the first time, welcome to the show where we just do our own version of the Kamehameha to each other.
Yeah, honestly.
So everybody, don't worry. I'm not in every episode. With other words, half of the videos on the channel are shit.
Yeah, because the only half that is not shit is with the Look Devil.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Where he gets fucking god roll pulls every week.
Hey, without me, you guys wouldn't even be laughing half as much as you guys are doing right now.
I'm literally labeling this a bonus episode. It's so weird.
Yeah.
To be fair, I try to stay on topic. That's the sad part of this.
Yeah. Well, this could have just been like a topic in another podcast, but this is just fun.
Anyways, back to the main topic. Binging versus watching weekly. We are living on the internet. I want to watch things when I want to.
Yes.
And not when people can decide to. Oh, look at it. I want to watch that Castlevania Nocturne. Yeah. I want to kill myself. Alright, let's watch it. Good that I don't have to wait for this shit piece of trash.
And also on the topic, like, now that I'm caught up with 100 Girlfriends, it is a pain because that series just works so much better as a binge series.
I agree. That's why I dropped it after 20 chapters.
But are you going to get caught up now?
No.
Not caught up as much as possible
No, I
before
won't.
before it starts becoming it's going to become weekly again.
I won't catch up to it. I don't plan on reading it forever, so who cares?
Yeah.
Aww.
I see where like some of that comes into play. Like I feel like Record of Ragnarok works better as a binge too.
Oh, absolutely.
10 out of 10, it works better as a binge. God fucking damn, it is a piece of garbage to read monthly.
Like that fucking anime has ruined like all of the hype for it too. And that's the absolute unfortunate reality there.
I know a lot of people who like the anime.
Wait, the hype for what?
Record of Ragnarok. Yeah, because I imagine that reading the most recent fight. Well, granted, it was probably the shortest fight since like the early portions of the series, but it was still
It is by far the shortest fight.
Like I mean, how many chapters was it?
2.5.
Really? I thought it was 4 chapters.
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was short as fuck. I feel the same way of like Fire Force, right? Like it was a better. Like I've been reading it like volume to volume off stream because I'm just enjoying it better that way, not making content out of it.
I think it's cringe. I think it was terrible to read it weekly.
Yeah, like I'm about 3/4 of the way through it because I've just been buying a volume when I have time. And it's very hard to have volumes of manga shipped to me while I'm moving from state to state to state right now. I'd be happy to be home.
Imagine moving from state to state to state. Imagine living in America. I couldn't.
But like now that I'll be home the first, like I literally had to mail to my apartment like 6 volumes of manga just because I didn't want to keep them in my fucking backpack. But I've just been having them dropped off to lockers while I've been, in different places because Amazon allows you to do that. But like binging it volume to volume, like that's a lot more enjoyable than I could imagine weekly.
By far better to binge it.
Like, and I felt the same way like with Soul Eater. Like I think Okubo's writing style just works better, and I can only imagine the pain of like the anime only fans right now because they're getting on like 3 years of not having any content. Like
that's also on another note, like the binge reading and weekly series, I think also have a big problem. Like for example, Shonen Jump again. Even if I didn't want to go into that topic, especially since most mangaka want to have a binge read because that's also becoming more popular in the manga space. But Shonen Jump wants it to be a weekly, wants to do it weekly and be readable weekly, something that most people want to go away from.
Yeah,
and that's also why I think the axing is now bigger than ever because more and more people just want this binge reading experience.
Yeah, that entire policy needs to be overhauled at this point because, like, even I like until recently was like almost a year behind in stuff like Sakamoto Days and Mission Yozakura Family, Black Clover. I just got caught up to Black Clover before the new chapter drops in Jump Giga, and that's even reading that arc. That's like a binge. It's still shit. I'm sorry.
What? How dare you? How dare you say something that I completely agree with?
Yeah. Don't have Fuboyo or One Smart coming at you.
Oh no!
One Smart comes at me every fucking day of the week because I'm saying that Pendulum is shit.
Like, no, how dare I have my own opinion on something as a fucking manga reviewer? How dare I?
Like, no, how dare I?
When was the last time you reviewed a manga that is not Chainsaw Man?
Dr. Stone. Mission Yozakura Family here recently.
Well, technically, you're gonna be talking about Dr. Stone in a few weeks' time when me, you, and PyChamp.
Last time, I ask. Last time, dude, not next time.
Mission Yozakura Family.
When was
the
that?
discussion?
That was like
a month ago.
Yeah.
See, you're not a manga reviewer for like a month now.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
have to
other
do
than
at least
Chainsaw Man.
one-
And
You
that's
have-
by my own design, because I got tired of it.
You have to talk at least once per week about why Ruby Dragon's the best manga.
I knew it was gonna come back.
Yeah, it had to come back to the little dragon
It's
girl.
always gonna come back to Ruby Dragon with Ann Arbor. But
Listen, I'll be a
Ruby
part of the
Dragon.
Berserk video too.
which by the way,
Why you should read Ruby Dragon instead of Berserk?
which by the way, Ann Arbor, I feel since we're on that top, since we're on Ruby Dragon, we might as well talk about it a bit. Like
I'll be right back.
right now. So would you say? Because I feel like no matter what, Ruby Dragon would work back well, both as a weekly or a binge. But I feel like at this point, if it was to come back, I would say bring it back for the same amount of chapters, or like a volume's worth, then go away for a while and then come back and bring another volume's worth. What would you say to that?
I would say do that. I think that's the best thing he could do.
Yeah, kind of like what Togashi's doing from Hunter. How
Yes.
like
I think that would work best for Ruby Dragon.
Yeah.
It's not something that I think I would dislike it more if it would be weekly. I would
okay,
really think
but
that I would dislike
but it
more.
was weekly when it was coming
yeah,
out, and then you
But when
and you
6
were looking.
chapters, it stopped, and I think the stopping of it made me enjoy it much more because not before that break and for the meme status it's reached. And I think that's why I enjoyed it more. And I think you should really just bring out a volume, take a break, make a volume, take a break. Maybe not as long as this as right now.
Yeah, so
but I think you should do that. I think yes, that would be the best case for a series like Ruby Dragon, which is just like comfy food that feel wholesome at home.
Yeah,
I think that's the best way for it.
Because then it would be like a combination of the two. Because it would still be ongoing storytelling, but it would be in binge formats, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Okay.
That's a combination of it. That's like releasing a big chapter with like 100 pages per month.
Yeah, and it's kind of like
I would still say it's monthly and not weekly.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't call that a combination of the two.
Yeah, and I'd say that's probably what, like I said before, what's probably I would want the best for Dr. Stone at this point. Like they come back, like maybe 6 months or a year, and bring out like say 5 chapters, a little bit longer, and then go away for a while.
Yeah, that's a possibility at this point. I feel like there's got to be like that middle ground though. Like, for example, let's tie this back to the MCU for a second, right?
Oh,
because
why?
Just hear me out.
All right.
Instead of having 5 series a year, have 2 big series, and then your movies be the main focus again, right? Because at this point, like having this needing to binge a bunch of series and then having to go and see every movie before you end up with FOMO, you're having to sit down and watch basically 3 movies worth of content, but in a weekly basis, right? For each series, because they're like usually around an hour-long episodes for each week. So
wait, what does FOMO mean?
Fear of missing out.
Oh, fear of missing.
Because like originally, like up to Endgame, this was treated as an event, like 2-3 times a year at most. You were having this event phase of movies. Like you had the occasional Star Wars, you had the MCU, occasional Star Wars, MCU, and they were going back and back. So, and then when the pandemic hit, they started dropping all these series, right? WandaVision. I think at the same time, it was Loki season 1, Activision, or
Activision.
WandaVision. I flubbed my words there.
Yes, my favorite series of the MCU, Activision.
I mean, It's,
I mean,
it's not wrong. They're treating it like a loot box here. But like you had WandaVision, Loki. You had the Captain America pass off in Falcon Winter Soldier. But you had all those within the span of a year, along with Shang-Chi and the Eternals, and I believe it was the second Spider-Man, or all in that same like plate there, or it might have been Black Widow to cap it off. That last story there. It's gotten so muddy, but you were having to do all of that just to go and see the next big movie. And it kind of muddied the water so much that a lot of people, that's where they dropped out. Myself included for a little bit there until the second Doctor Strange movie, right? I would still go see the movies, but like I dropped out like all of the fucking Disney Plus content because I'm like I don't even know where to start because it was too much all at once. And then I just binged it all while I was at work because I had like 3 weeks of basically no work. So it was just like, look busy, push a broom. So I just, put on WandaVision. I put on fucking Hawkeye at the time. I put on all that shit. And it's just like, I can binge this. But if they went back to like one, maybe two series and just went back to movies, I feel like they'd be able to recuperate a lot of that lost fan base. Same with Star Wars, really. Stop focusing on so many goddamn series and focus on telling new stories.
And stop focusing on the Skywalkers.
That's what I was getting at. Like, the Skywalker saga, you were supposed to cap off with the Rise of the Skywalkers. Like, Episode 9 was supposed to be the end of the Skywalker saga, and we're here with fucking Hayden Christensen and Ahsoka, just playing Darth Vader. Again, we're still relying on nostalgia instead of fucking moving the franchise forward. But yeah, like those, if they could do that and bridge, like instead of like, hey, we're going to do this weekly, we're going to drop all 8 episodes today. Have fun with it. I feel like you'd be able to have a lot more healthy conversation with it. You'd be able to have a lot more like theory crafting for what's going to happen in the movie. They'll come out in like 2 months. Like spread it out like that. Like you got 8 episodes of content in 2 months. The next movie comes out. And then boom, boom. You get back into that cycle. And then maybe start, like, okay, this worked. It's not, and there's no harm in experimenting with your fan base either like that. Like, hey, this worked for a while, but at the same time, like, now we're not seeing the return. Like, thinking like the businessman here, so maybe we dial it back, because it clearly isn't working now, because you're seeing people confused at what all they need to watch to see the Marvels. You're seeing people confused at, like, what's important right now that I need to watch before this next big movie. I don't know.
What's the watch order for Marvel is the same as asking what's the play order for Kingdom Hearts.
Honestly, at this point, are you going in release order?
MCU fans are the movie fans of movie versions of Kingdom Hearts fans.
It really is like that. That's a great way to put it.
Oh my god! I need to become an MCU fan. Guys, I'm going to watch MCU now.
Go get Disney Plus, buddy.
Right.
I have it.
Right, we're binging it. We're doing it all one hour.
I think I'll healthily sit this one out, guys.
I am binging them.
I'm currently already doing that, and I gotta start up Captain Marvel.
Oh god.
All right, Tyler?
I can ask the cute girl from work to do that. She likes MCU.
All right, Tyler.
You're doing it to get pussy.
I do it to get pussy. You know what? That's the best thing that the MCU will ever do. Will ever get out of. Will ever do in the fucking world.
Hey, I can't say anything. I used to take dates to go see MCU movies.
Based.
You're an MCU fan. I'm an MCU fan too. Let's go see Shang-Chi. I literally took 2 separate dates to go see 2 separate MCU movies in the last year and a half.
I may use Kingdom Hearts as a reason for a date.
I've also done that.
Me and Vex
We are terrible
No.
human beings.
We are done hard. Me and Vance are
We're
normal
here
human beings.
revealing our dating advice here.
You want a dating advice? I don't know. I'm drunk.
Dating advice 101. Extra points if it's something you'll hate.
Dating advice 101. Be drunk. And then,
I literally was
also
like,
drunk.
I was literally like half drunk by the end of the last Thor movie. It was so bad. That's why
I knew I've never watched a movie when I wasn't drunk.
How do you fuck up Gore the God Butcher? You turn him into like a shell of his character.
But facts. You can't forget. You can't forget the one, the only, the myth, the legend, Super Bunny.
I'm a super bunny girl.
You know, the only Super Bunny I give a fuck about is the one from Monty Python. Okay.
Based.
Or Donnie Darko.
Based.
But like, I feel like we've stretched this as thin as a
Yeah,
goddamn
I
needle
feel
here.
like. So I guess the final point to take away from this is that
This is a bonus episode, not a canon episode.
this is a bonus episode, not a canon episode, and
Next are scummy people, pee butt sex.
I have never said I wasn't scummy.
To on topic. I tried the most to you can stay on topic, Tyler.
But Ann Arbor.
Ann Arbor, we were literally revealing our fucking advice to get laid here. Like,
I think
I don't care.
Ann Arbor,
I don't
Ann
care.
Arbor, we may have the topic, but it will branch out into other things. That is the nature of controlled chaos. You should know that by now.
No, I don't. I'm Chaos Incarnate. I'm a luck devil. Hello. I'm the president.
I'm the fucking president.
I'm the president of the United States of America.
Okay. So to wrap it up, yeah, do you with binge and long form storytelling, but there's no real right or wrong answer. It's just a matter of opinion at the end of the day.
At the end of the day, it depends on how the series was written.
Yeah.
Was it written to be binge? Then binge. It was written to be watched weekly. Then watch it weekly.
I found Ann Arbor's next shirt, right? If I can actually pull it up here.
He can't. He did never found it.
I did. It's in mod stuff right now.
Is it rocks? Please just be a shot if I want rocks. We have the capital. No. With that said, guys, I'm the president. Vote for me next time in the election. With that,
He's a German citizen. He can't run for election. You are safe.
you guys, I'm sad for you guys because you can't get me as your president.
Vote for
Legally,
me. I am
I can
actually
still
going to run
invade.
for president.
I can still make take over.
And with that, peace.